Everybody, welcome back to my fitness drive. I'm TJ, your personal trainer in training, and today we're going to be covering the side straddle. So let's get right into it. Okay, so before we actually get into the side straddle, I'm just gonna put this disclaimer out here. This video is going to assume that you've already covered the basics in the basic jump video. And if you haven't seen that, I'll include a link down in the description so you can go watch that first, then come back to this video. All right, so the side straddle jump is a very simple jump to learn. It's really just a jumping jack. So before we actually get into it, regular jumping jack. Out, in, hands up, hands down to the side, legs out, legs in. Okay, that's a regular jumping jack. Now the side straddle is going to be the same lower body movement where we're going out and in, except instead of our hands going up and down, we are rotating the rope around our body with each movement. All right, so the side straddle is going to be out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. Honestly, that's all there really is to it, but I understand it's easier said than done, especially when you're first starting off. So a few tips I would recommend if you want to learn this move is just practice without the rope. So we set the rope down off to the side, and then just practice. You know how to do a jumping jack. So 1, 2, out, in, arms up, arms down. And then just practice without the rope. Just get the timing of your leg movement. Once you get that down pat, then I would say practice feeling and hearing the cadence with your rope. You hear 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Bring your arm out a little bit in case you're worried about having a wide berth when you come out, but get used to that. Just 1, 2, out, in, out, in, out, in. Okay, just get your cadence in. Once you have your cadence established, then you go into practicing and go slow in the beginning. So don't worry about getting the full out in of your side straddle in one swoop. If you need to, just practice one, then practice the other. So out, reset yourself, do it again. Out, reset yourself, and do it again. Once this starts to feel natural to you, then try to include the next half of it. So out, in, okay? Now, for the purpose of the training, I do have my arms a little bit wider to kind of slow down the movement of the rope. When you're actually doing the side straddle, you want to make sure that, as always, your arms stay low and they stay close, they stay at your hips, okay? So we're not going out when we're doing them live. So out, in, out, in, out, in. Notice how my arms stay low and they're at my hip level. They're not out here, because look what happens. Your rope gets shorter and then you get caught up in your rope. So if you're finding that you're getting caught up in your rope, you might want to think, are my arms low? Are they hip level? Are they in and not too far out? So again, out, in, out, in. All of your movements should be controlled. Now, the other thing is your breathing. You don't want to do what I was just doing right now, talking as I'm jumping, because then you're not focused on your breathing, and then you're going to find that that sensation is coming up. You're feeling winded, you're feeling like your lungs are a little tense, you feel like your chest is a bit tense, and then your breaths get shorter and shorter and shorter, and then you gas yourself out. So just like we covered in the basic tutorial, you're gonna breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And obviously, the faster you go, your breaths are gonna be shorter and they're gonna be quicker. So you don't wanna do this where you're, that doesn't make any sense. You're focusing too much on your breathing at that point. Your breathing should be natural, but you do want to be aware of how you're breathing. So if you're swinging the rope faster, I'm not saying that you need to be also, no, have a steady cadence. Be very relaxed, be in control of your breaths, be conscious of it, but don't overanalyze your breathing. So inhale, exhale. Now, I'm taking my breaths deeper in and deeper out for the purpose of you to hear it on my mic. But you don't need to breathe that deeply inward or outward. Be very relaxed, okay? So again, okay, arms low, in through my nose, out through my mouth. Steady cadence, arms close, on my toes, and that's it. I'll do a few from the side, so that way you can see at a 45-degree angle, I should say. When you're jumping, remember, your knees are gonna be slightly bent, so you're not completely stiff, right? We're not doing this bit. We're not doing that. We're keeping our knees slightly bent. So that way we have controlled and relaxed movements, okay? And be very relaxed. Breathe in and out. Through the nose, through the mouth. Okay? All right, so just recapping what we've discussed in this video and in the basic jump video, make sure your shoulders are relaxed when you're jumping. Make sure you breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Have very relaxed breaths. Make sure your arms stay low to your hips, that they're not up here and they're not out, they're in and they're at your hips. So I probably should have mentioned this first, but be very patient with yourself. None of these movements come naturally. Maybe some might learn faster than others, but it still doesn't mean that the moves come naturally to us. So get very used to doing the jumping, doing the movements. What always helps me when I'm learning a new trick or a new skip is I ditch the ropes and I just learn the footwork and I get my breathing in. Once that starts to feel natural to me, then I bring in the ropes and I start getting my cadence down. And then I practice each movement individually and then I start combining them together. So maybe take that approach when you're first starting off. Take little bite-sized pieces of the actual movement, and then when those bite-sized pieces start to feel good and to feel natural to you, then put those bite-sized pieces together to make the actual movement, right? So it is getting a little bit dark, so I won't drag this on much longer. Go back and watch the basic jump tutorial and learn all the basics there, the breathing. We go into detail about all of that. And that basic jump tutorial, I keep referring to it because the basic jump is gonna be your crux for like 95% of skips that you learn going forward. So it's really important to master the basics, master your form and your technique. But yeah, that's really it. The next time we get into it, we'll cover the front straddle, so be ready for that. If you like what I'm doing here, I would appreciate a like and subscribe. Yeah, so until then, stay safe, be healthy, stay active, and I will catch you next time on My Fitness Drive.